All right, it's Coyote Mosley here with Coach Daryl Stewart. We are talking about what's going to happen this week in week 9 of college football. And Coach, how you doing?
Doing well, Mr. Moses. How about yourself tonight?
Doing good, man. Look, it's Friday night, and tomorrow we have a packed schedule on the slate, man. We got games from SEC, SWAC, MA, the MEAC. Everybody's just got some games going on, man. And right now, I just think right now it's one of those times where either you put up or shut up, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So, Coach, let's talk about what's happening in the SWAC going on tomorrow. Here in Houston, we got a big game against say Grambling versus Texas Southern. How do you see that game? Yeah.
Big matchup in Houston, Texas Southern versus Grambling State. It's a must-win for Grambling if they want to stay in the West Hunt. A lot of pressure on Grambling because Texas Southern doesn't have to beat Grambling. Grambling has to beat Texas Southern. So, let's see how Grambling performs on the road in a hostile environment. I know Coach Dishman is going to try to look everything out the box to go at Coach Mickey Joseph and the Tigers, but let's hope the Tigers can come through with this one because it's a must-needed win to come out victorious on the west side of the ball.
Yeah, I know they've been in Houston for the past couple of days, planning, getting ready for the game because it's very important for them to keep pace with Southern University at 3-0 in the SWAC West. And when you look at Coach Dishman and his team, they're just 1-2 in the SWAC West. If they are able to win this game and be at 2-2, they're right behind Southern University, who has a tough game against FAMU. And we're talking about a real difficult game. It's going to be homecoming for the Rattlers, and they're smarting after losing that game against Jackson State last week. Talk about that one.
Yeah, big matchup. Florida and them homecoming. They're going to try to come in and redeem themselves after a tough loss last week. But they have a lot of pressure on their hands coming in with a tough Southern University team right now. They're playing lights out on defense. Uh, uh, they're just playing exceptionally well on defense right now. They're a defensive ball club, and so it's going to be a close game. But I just think right now the way Southern University is playing, if they can get out of their own way, I think they'll be victorious in Tallahassee.
Okay, good, good. Now, Jackson State, they have a big one down in Daytona against Bethune-Cookman. A lot of people may say Bethune-Cookman, oh, that's a pushover, but you think otherwise, right?
Yeah, it's Bethune-Cookman's homecoming. And so I hope Coach Taylor, and I know his team not going to take Bethune lightly, but, anything can happen on homecoming. And the Tigers just have to go down there and play smart football, and I think they'll come out victorious.
Yeah, big games all over in SWAC. Let's take a listen to what Coach Taylor had to say this week.
Feeling pretty good right now as a football team, as a program. Big weekend this weekend, and to be able to go out and beat a team that dominated us last year. Feeling good right now. Players had yesterday off. We got back in here today, which is usually our off day, and got back to work. We treated today like Sunday, but very good football game, championship level type game this past weekend. I can't say enough about the fans and everybody, the band. Everybody was just on point. This football team found a way. In the end, they found a way. True Thompson goes through and makes a great move on their offensive line and forces a fumble, and Phillip Webb finds a way to get in the end zone. I thought Herb Mulligan ran the ball well. Amari Mathis ran the ball well. Offensively, we got to fix the turnovers. We had 4 turnovers. 3 of those was on the quarterback. He knows he has to play better in order for us to be successful. But in the end, we just found a way. We didn't want that team to come in here and bully us. We know what the magnitude of a win in a game like that is. big deal for the Eastern Conference right now for us to get that win. So we're feeling good, but we got to get ready for Bethune. You know, it's their homecoming. We'll fly out here this week, you know, and just start preparing for them, putting a good scouting report together for this team we got this weekend. Well, it was going off last year. We played so bad there. You know, we played horrible in the vet last year. So this year, it was a big emphasis. You know, how are we not going to play well at home? You know, and I told the guys half of those games that we didn't play well in last year was because our energy just wasn't there, and which is shocking to be in front of your home crowd and don't have that energy level. But this year they've been showing it, you know, each and every time we get the opportunity to play in the vet. And we talk about guarding the yard, you know, and that's what, you know, that slogan came from, and that's what we're talking about. So they're doing a good job when we're playing in there. And then, like I said, for the fans coming in there, you know, the fans in there, that energy level is up and everything. So it's a tough place to play right now for our opponents. We finished, you know, we played 4 quarters of football, you know, as a group, as a unit, and we did what we had to do in a game like that. When I'm playing I'm coaching in those type of games and that magnitude or that level of play, you got great athletes on both sides of the football, you know, 2 well-recruited programs, 2 well-coached programs. You have to throw the stats out the door. You know, you're just trying to find a way to, in the end, in 4 quarters, to come out with a win. You talk about some of the things that I took away. You know, our defense is elite. You know, our defense, you know, that they can hit you and get you to the ground. Offensively, we can move the ball up and down the field on anybody. I think, you know, we in the last 2 football games, we've only punted the ball 3 times. I didn't know that. In this past game, we only punted it once, and we got an All-American punter. So he's looking at me kind of side-eyed right now because he's not getting those opportunities to punt. But, you know, we got a great football game. You talk about the special teams and the things that Javancy Jones is doing over there. I mean, we lost that game last year because of special teams, and they really went out there and was just, you know, laying the boom on some people out there. So I just taken away from that game, you know, to beat a ranked FCS team, you know, a team that won it all last year. It lets me know that we're doing things the right way and got a really good football team here. To be honest, I wanted it for them. You know, they took a lot of heat off that A&M game, and I told them in that team meeting after that game, man, we was up big. You know, they were going to throw the ball around a little bit. And A&M is going to, you know, that's a good football team too. But it was huge. You know, I wanted that for them to see and know that they're a dominant unit. And if they play together, they can do things right. You know, surprisingly, they could have, you know, shut it down. They had 3 explosive plays early in that game, 3 big throws by their quarterback. But they just kept going. They kept going. Even when I remember Gerardo Beza missed that last field goal, and I hear a couple guys running on the field, we got you. You know, we're going to take care of this. And then for them to go out there and, you know, get those 2 turnovers late, you know, that says it all for the defense, the defensive staff as well. You know, and then what was funny, that last one they got, you know, they was talking about, we was considering kneeling it, but, you know, defense like, no, coach, let's go score. Let's make this thing convincing. So, you know, they're playing well now, but we got good players over there. That D-line, Jeremiah Williams, I think he had 9-10 tackles. You know, the linebackers played a great game. Reed Pulliam, Ashton Taylor, those dudes are flying around. Some guys stepped up in the secondary, playing a freshman at corner that came in and really did a great job, KJ Chisholm over there. So it's an elite group. Yeah. Quarterback run game is going to be the big emphasis this week with those guys. You know, they was in a dogfight with Valley. They've been right there. You know, they played Clark. Clark ended up finding a way to beat him, but we got to start the QB runs with this guy. Another football team in the offseason that's done a great job of recruiting. So they got some good athletes down there. And then, I mean, it's their homecoming. You know, we don't want to be in a situation, you know, we got 2 homecomings coming up in a row, but we want to make sure we win both. You know, that's how we're looking at it. We want to win both homecomings, and we kind of feel disrespected. You know, you don't host us for no homecoming, so we're going to get on the plane with a little chip on our shoulder and go down there and try to we will take care of business. Yeah, great question. The word of the week, the first thing I talk about with the team today in the team meeting after this game was complacent. You know, let's not get complacent and understand the level of play that, you know, that is allowing us to look dominant, you know, and that's what we saw on Saturday night. You know, they get it. You know, the goal is December for this football team, the staff, everybody in the building, and that's the way they prepare. If you see us in practice, you know, they get after each other in practice, so they understand that, and I know no matter who the opponent is, they're going to come out and play hard.
All right, that was Coach T.C. Taylor of the Jackson State Tigers. Coach, any takeaways from what you heard from Coach Taylor?
No, Coach Taylor knows his team has to be ready to play a tough ball club in Bethune-Cookman, coming out from Mississippi Valley win. But it's homecoming, and teams are going to get up for you. You know, he's in the driver's seat right now. He has to go down there and play a well game on both sides of the ball. You know, he has to call a terrific game, not doing anything crazy, because any false move and you give this dangerous Bethune-Cookman team life, they'll be smelling upset, Mr. Mose.
Yeah. I'm looking at some numbers from Stats Perform. Bethune-Cookman's Dennis Palmer, he rushed for 126 yards last week against Mississippi Valley State. That made him the third SWAC freshman to have a 100-yard-plus rushing game this season. He ties Alcorn Xavier Vaughn, the quarterback, and Alabama State's Jamari Hosklaw, who is a beast down there at Alabama State, man. So that's something for the Tigers of Jackson State to look at, how they will defend the running game. And I think that defensive front from Jackson State lived up to its billing, especially showing what they can do down the stretch against Florida A&M. Talk about them.
Yeah, the up front, Jackson State is big up front on both sides of the ball. I think their defensive front plays well. They stay in their run gaps. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and the linebackers, they scrape and field. So, defensive-wise, I think Jackson State is going to be solid. It's just offensively, Coach Taylor has to call a complete game, not make a lot of mistakes, because you have to keep in mind, homecoming, it was Southern homecoming against Alcorn. It's something about homecoming with these teams that they play different and they play well. So you just can't make a lot of mistakes against this dangerous Bethune-Cookman team.
Yeah, definitely. Dangerous is one word, but also when you look at Bethune-Cookman, they have to be able to try to win in order to say they can keep pace at this time. But it looks like it's a two-horse race between Florida A&M as well as Jackson State. The season isn't over for both of those teams, as well as Alabama State. They're right there nipping at the heels, right? And we have a big one down in the Magic City Classic between A&M as well as Alabama State. We're going to talk a little bit about that when we get back from the break. We'll be back shortly, guys, to talk more and listen to Coach Trei Oliver, Chennis Berry, as well as Terance Mathis from Morehouse College. He had a little bit to talk to us about what's happening with that program. And I'm wearing it well. Yeah, Morehouse, baby. And we're going to talk a little bit in 2 and 2.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I push. You better move. I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
Something amazing is happening here. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure with Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights and increased performance, giving them the scale to stay ready for whatever's next. Make amazing happen. Lenovo and CDW.
Siri, what's the name of the guy I had a meeting with a couple of months ago at Cafe Grinnell?
You met Zach Wingate at Cafe Grinnell.
Hey!
Zach!
Oh, wow, I didn't think you'd remember me.
Yeah, of course. As soon as I saw you, I'm like, it's Zach. Nobody walks like Zach.
I am genius.
Something amazing is happening here. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure with Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights and increased performance, giving them the scale to stay ready for whatever's next. Make amazing happen. Lenovo and CDW.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
All right, guys, Kyle T. Mosley back here with Coach Darryl Stewart on the line. Coach, we're turning our attention to what's happening over at the MEAC. One of your favorite coaches, you love to call him Trei the what?
Trei the Truth.
Trei the Truth, Oliver. Talk about what's happening over with North Carolina Central right now.
Well, they're playing lights out football right now. They smell championship. They smell Celebration Bowl. And I just hope they don't overlook a very, very tough Chennis and South Carolina State Bulldog team. It's going to be an outstanding matchup between those two teams next week. But,
on Halloween, it's going to be a Halloween matchup, man. And I think it's what, ESPNU?
Right, ESPNU. His quarterback is playing well. Running back is playing well. So, and the thing about Coach Trei Oliver's team, they've been there before. So his performance, his practice, how he gets his team prepared for the big game, it's nothing new to them. And they're playing like an experienced ball club right now. And so, just shout out to him and the job he's done over there in the MEAC, getting his team ready for another championship.
Okay. Keisha Kelly from the Black College Experience, as well as she's with us at the Black Sports Insiders. She had a great interview with him as well as Chennis Berry. We're going to talk to Chennis Berry a little bit later and listen to that conversation. But let's start off with Coach Trei the Truth Oliver.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to enjoy my homecoming week like you.
Listen, I said, let me hurry up, get some questions together, wrap it up, because I know it's going into a big week for y'all. How are you this morning?
I'm outstanding. I wish I had some of that Blue Store chicken, though.
Listen, my voice gone. I forgot to get my coffee on the coffee run down there. So much stuff happened in Baton Rouge, but we came away with the W. So I'm just proud about that. That's all I care about is that we came away with the W. So I'll say thank you for joining me this morning, Coach Oliver. I finally get to sit down with Coach Oliver. This is a busy man. This is a hard man to get in contact with. I said 5 o'clock. They said, okay, 11 o'clock on Monday. I said, all right, fine, I'll take it. I'll take it on 11 o'clock.
We got a lot of media going on Mondays, a whole lot of media outlets and stuff. So we need to knock it out early so I can get back to work.
And that's what he said. He was like, they got them. I was like, I get it. So, Coach, we know right now you're first in the MEAC right now, Coach. How does that feel? Let me start there. How does that feel?
Well, I mean, we've only played one MEAC game, so we did have a tough non-conference schedule, and I'm hoping that prepares us for these next 4 games. But whenever you have an opportunity to be in the top of the conference, it's a blessing, and it's just a testament of our guys, players and coaches that we have in the program. But we got a lot of work to do for these next 4 weeks, though.
So, I mean, but even going into the preseason, you guys were predicted to win, or predicted to go as number 1. And I know you're one of those people not too big on polls. I'm one of those people, I'm not too big on polls. I always say Coach Oliver don't do a lot of talking, especially on social media. But when he talk, you going to feel his presence. So leading up to this point, we've looked at some of those games. And like you said, the outer conference was tough. But since September 21st, y'all have won every single game. 66-24 over North Carolina A&T is just crazy. That's just crazy. 37-10 over Norfolk, 45-14 over Campbell. And then you completely shut out Virginia. Virginia Union? So now you come into a conference game. Morgan State. How are you feeling about this upcoming weekend, Coach?
Well, this is one of those teams. Morgan has traditionally is a very good defensive team, and this is one I thought that the matchup that could cause us some problems. defensively last year, they held us. They possessed the ball and got their running game going. And our offense only ran, 12 plays in the first half. So we had a tough time up in their place last year trying to get any points or get any yards or get anything going offensively. But Coach Wilson is an outstanding coach. I've known him for a long time and won a lot of championships at Bowie State before coming to Morgan. But this is one of those games that I was paying a whole lot of attention to in all season because we got to bring it this weekend or it could be a long Saturday afternoon for us.
So every week you're putting together, like I said, a championship team, and we know every week is a different week. Is 1-0 every single week. That's the goal for every team is to win. And that's why you look at the week that's coming and not the week ahead. What are you planning, or what are you telling these guys from week to week? I should say, to continue this winning streak.
Well, nothing changes as far as our preparation week to week. They understand it's all about the next game. And the big thing I want to do is I want to see improvement. We don't ever talk about championships. We don't talk about Atlanta or any other stuff. It's let's get better this week than we were the prior week. And everything will work itself out in December. And fortunately, we've been able to prove from offense, defense, and with our special teams play, I've seen a tremendous improvement over the last, 5 to 6 weeks.
So when you talk about the improvement from week to week, because that's going from week to week, is there any particular player that you want to highlight on, or are you saying cohesively as a team?
Oh, definitely as a team. Because, you don't want guys up and down and a lot of highs and lows. So you want guys to have a level of consistency. But overall, we want to see improvement with every aspect of the program, from the head coach to our equipment staff to our strength and conditioning, whatever it is. I think I want to see every area improve. So it's not just one player. If my quarterback threw 3 touchdowns last week, that's good. Let's try to throw 4 the next week. So that's the biggest thing, because a lot of times, especially with dealing with young guys, and we have a very young football team, the biggest thing is trying to handle and manage success. So we've been somewhat successful, and when that happens, a lot of guys are reading social media and listening to the media, and kind of forget what it took to get us there. So stay humble, stay hungry, and again, like I said, work to improve every week.
All right, that's Coach Trei the Truth Oliver. Coach, NCCU, they're leading the MEAC 39.4 points per game. They're leading in rushing 181.7 yards per game, and their red zone offense is executing very well at 96.6%. They're scoring. How can the Morgan State Bears hold up to the Eagles?
Well, I think they got to go in and stop the run. North Carolina Central right now is playing a balanced football team. They run well, they throw the ball well, they play great defense. So if I'm the head coach at Morgan right now, I'm going in trying to stop the run and make North Carolina Central throw the ball. But it's going to be tough to do when you have great teams like what North Carolina Central have. You need to try to build a game plan around to attack the quarterback. The quarterback is special. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He puts them in position to execute, and they just playing lights out. Coach Trei Oliver's calling a great game. He managed the game well, and so this game right here is going to come down to coaching. And I just have to get the edge to Coach Trei the Truth Oliver in this.
Yeah, I don't think the Bears have enough horses to hang with those guys right now. When you talk about a running back who ranks second in the MEAC with around 84.9 yards per average, and then you look at how they're scoring so efficiently, it's going to be very tough. And, in Morgan State, I think Coach Wilson is developing that program right now. So it's still probably a year or two before really challenging at a high level, but you don't tell that to Coach Wilson because Coach said, "Hey, Mosley, I got something for you, baby." He's going to be coming. So this Saturday is going to be the 46th meeting between the two programs, where NCCU holds an I think it's a 23-19-2 advantage against the Bears, and as well as the Eagles have won the last 7 games of this affair, and I just don't see how it's going to be any differently at this time. We want to hear from you guys. If you believe that Morgan State is going to be able to hold up to NCCU, put it in the chat, and I will post it. So let's talk about another game in the MEAC. The Howard Bison going against Norfolk State. Howard at 3-4. Norfolk is at 2-6. It's happening down in Norfolk, Virginia. Talk about what should Coach Odoms and the Spartans do to be able to hold off the Bison.
Well, I think it's an even matchup game right now. You know, both teams are having a hard time scoring. But, you know, I had to get an edge right now to Howard. I think they played a tough Tennessee State team last week in Eddie George Ball Club. Probably had more talent than Howard. And I think the talent is rarely even right now between Norfolk and Howard. So I had to get an edge to Coach Larry Scott. I know his team's going to come in prepared. If they can come in and throw the ball well, I'll give them the edge over Norfolk State.
It's going to be tough. Look, Howard right now, they had a disappointing loss against Tennessee State at homecoming, right? I think it was 27-14, right? And the Bison had high hopes coming into this season, but the quarterback position hasn't been where Coach would like it to be. And you look at the Tennessee State team, they were just too tough rushing the ball. On average, over 100 yards per season. They had Jared Hunter, who's just, you know, a monster back there. And as well as you have just too many weapons that were coming downhill at those guys. But Norfolk, they're in an interesting situation because right now they offer the 3rd best ranked team in the MEAC when it comes to 160 yards per game. And I think the last 3 games, they went over 200 yards per game. Could that be how they really affect the Bison going into this one?
Yeah, I just think Coach Odoms is going to rely on his 3 yards in a cloud of dust offense right now. He's
Would you say 3 yards in cloud of dust?
3 yards in a cloud of dust, man. He's running the ball really well, you know. But, you know, Coach Scott has been at big-time programs. You know, he's coached on the highest level. I just don't think a one-dimensional team can beat Howard. You know, okay. Now, Norfolk's going to be tough in the run game. But I just think at some point in time, you got to throw the ball. And Howard is big up front as well as Norfolk. So I think it's going to be a close ball game, but I just get an edge to Howard in this.
Okay. We're going to pick it up with Chennis Berry when we get back from the break. Delaware State, they're at 1-6. I thought they'll be a little bit better at this point of the season.
I did too.
South Carolina State, 4-2, and this is their first MEAC game. So the Bulldogs, you know, Coach Chennis Berry, he's going to bring it, baby. I love him. So let's talk a little bit later after the break. We're going to hear from Coach Chennis Berry and see what he has to say about his Bulldogs team.
is Jared. Let me show you how I created my dorm room vibe for less with Amazon. I have tons of different clothes. I have some pajama pants, more pajama pants. People say I have too much. I don't really listen to people. I love to journal. I got my gratitude journal, I got my mantra journal, and I got my 5-minute journal. And I got a package from Amazon. Let's see what we got for today. This is perfect. This is my journal that I journal about journaling. Dear Diary, I wish I had more PJs.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I push. You better move. I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
All right, Kyle T. Mosley back with the Black Sports Insiders. We're talking about Coaches Speak. We like to hear what the coaches have to say and talk about their preparation and the games ahead, but also give us some inside inspiration in what they are about and who they are. A lot of times we just, Coach, you kind of forget that you guys are people too, Coach.
Right.
How do you feel about that when coaches kind of take a backseat to people, or people just kind of look over you guys and think y'all should be always accessible?
Well, you just got to stay humble in this business, man. I remember when the job didn't pay as well, and now you're paying a hefty amount of money. Just got to stay humble, stay prayed up, and keep your mind at the task at hand, and that's being a head coach. It's about the university and it's about the programs, not about the head coach. And I think a lot of these coaches right now, they're in the right frame of mind when it comes to the head coaching position. So, just got to stay humble at it. You hear it all the time, even on the high school level, Kyle, you hear it. But it's just like being a president of your institution. The head coach is the leader, is the general, and it starts with them and it ends with them. So let's hope these young head coaches prepare their team well and get ready for the task at hand.
Yeah. We have Coach Darryl Stewart on the line. Coach is with me on the HBCU Legends podcast each week. And he does a tremendous job breaking down. And Coach is also an NFL analyst. He breaks down game film and he does everything and behind the scenes. And look, we're glad to have him aboard with us. So let's go back to Delaware State against the Bulldogs of South Carolina State. Right now, South Carolina State enters the game with a 3-game win streak. They dominated Fort Valley State last week, 30-3. And the Bulldogs right now, they have scored a little bit more points than early on in the season. They are averaging over 20 points per game right now. And they also lead the MEAC in total offense per game. Wow, that's surprising. Thinking about what NCCU is doing, right? They are putting up 376 yards per game. Their run defense stops people and limits them to 112 yards per game. And the passing offense is at 243.7 yards per game. And they have created 11 sacks and also created 7 fumble recoveries. I apologize there, guys. And quarterback Eric Phoenix, he was his quarterback the first time he won a championship at Benedict.
Right.
And he left the program, and now he's back with Coach Chennis. How do you see that marriage?
I think it's going to be an outstanding football game. I just don't want South Carolina State to overlook this Delaware State team on their matchup with North Carolina Central the following week. I think Coach Berry, he's won a championship. He's going to call this game well. He's going to play it safe. It's not going to be a high-scoring game, but he's going to do enough to get out of this game with a win and get ready for the big one against North Carolina Central on next week.
Yeah, they have a short week to prepare, being a Thursday game. So that's going to be very interesting how they handle it. But they get to stay at home in Orangeburg. Let's hear from Keisha Kelly and Coach Berry.
So, Coach, let me ask you, how have you been? How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed, man. I'm glad to be here, man. It's another day, another opportunity. I always say it all the time. Some people be like, man, I got to go to work in the morning. I say, no, I get to go to work this morning. And I'm excited to be the head football coach at South Carolina State because I follow some legends, man. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, man. When I walk to practice every day and I look up in the rafters at Oliver C. Dawson Stadium, Willie Jeffries Field, it just humbles my heart, to follow the greats of Willie Jeffries, of Oliver Pugh, Buddy Pugh, man. I mean, you're talking about great coaches. Bill Davis, who came through here as well. I'm just blessed to have an opportunity to be the new head football coach here. And it's a great day with great people. Alumni have been amazing. So I'm in a great place, man. And I'm excited to be the head football coach here.
So, y'all, I call Coach Berry the triple threat. Why? Because Coach Berry didn't coach in the SIAC. He didn't coach in the SWAC. He didn't coach in the MEAC, and he's crossed over. He's gone from one, gone back. So before we get into that, talking about how you didn't coached across the board.
As a player?
Yes.
As a student athlete?
Yes.
I'm about the attitude of gratitude. When I say that, opportunity. Well, guess what? I had one offer, and that was from Savannah State.
And that was going to be my next question. But okay.
I had one offer. They gave me a chance. And when somebody give you a chance, you take advantage of that opportunity. I share the story all the time. The reason why I always bring up Bill Davis, Bill Davis was the head football coach here from like 79 when Willie Jeffries left to go to Wichita State. Bill Davis was the head coach here from 79 to like maybe 85. And he took on the job at Savannah State in 86. And, I so happened to was in a basketball tournament. I played football and basketball, and we were in a basketball tournament down at Windsor Forest High School in Savannah, Georgia. And so happened at that time, Bill Davis was there at that basketball tournament watching, I believe, his daughter play in the women's side. And he saw me playing. I was a bigger guy. I showed athletic ability, showed talent. And when the game was over, he literally walked up to me and offered me a full scholarship to come to Savannah State. And just like anybody, because that was my only offer, I accepted it. So wouldn't have chose a better place, man. I had a great experience in my 4 years at Savannah State. Friends for life. Got my degree from a great institution, and I'm grateful to all in all get my degree in business from Savannah State College at the time. I was part of the last graduating class at Savannah State College.
Old school,
that's right. After I left Southern, I was blessed to have an opportunity to get the head football coaching job at Benedict College, where we turned around a program real fast. We turned it around, a program that when we got a chance to get in there, we had to, build it from the bottom. I mean, it was at tough times at the time we took it over and turned it into a national powerhouse program in a couple years. And now I'm here. 2023, I was named the head football coach at South Carolina State University, and it's a great day to be a Bulldog.
I used to tell people, I was like, if y'all not paying attention to Benedict, you might want to start paying attention to this program. You get to that point, and I think this is when I started listening to the 1-0. Go 1-0. Win the day. Talk about that motto or that mantra, if you will, 1-0.
It's the process. And I appreciate you sharing that. I had a real long talk with my team this morning, because that's what we preach here as well. It's a 1-0 mindset, and just about stacking days. And we fall in love with the process more than the outcome. When we read the book, Chop Wood, Carry Water, and we've read it at Benedict and we read it here at South Carolina State, it's talking about surrender the outcome and fall in love with the process of becoming great. We all want the same end goal. Every team in America, they started this season off thinking that they were going to be champions. I mean, we all do. But if you fall in love with just going 1-0 every day, just dominate the day. Just be the best you can be every day. those days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months, and the months turn into year. Then you look up when it's all said and done, you had an excellent season. And these are just seasons. Like I say, these are just seasons. God put me here for a reason, season, or a lifetime. We just don't know which path it's going to be. But like I say, I won't change that. It's the process that, Nick Saban talks about it all the time. He's kind of coined that phrase, but the process has been going on long before Nick Saban. If you just work on those small mundane things, be the best guy in the world in tying your shoe. It might seem small, but I'm going to be the best shoe tire in America. All right. If I need to write my name, I'm going to write my name the best that I can write my name in America. I'm going to be the best at it. And if you fall in love with the process, the outcome will eventually come, but the process is bigger than the outcome.
The process is bigger than the outcome, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Man, that can be read so many ways, and it can be able to hit to so many people in their lives right now. Talk about how you coach your guys. And is that kind of same philosophy when they talk about the process and just focusing on doing the things that you need to do the right way?
Yeah, every head coach has their own philosophy, how they do things. Coach Berry has a process on how he builds his championship program. I have a philosophy on how I build my championship program. But, it starts with the culture. And he's blessed to be at a championship program. Some people say, do you think he could have done this at Delaware State? Well, it's probably going to take him time. I mean, he's at a championship program right now, taking over a championship coach. And so I just think he's putting his championship pedigree into South Carolina State and having it left off from where Coach Buddy Pugh left off. And it's really not that hard to do, but I had to give him credit in one thing, Mr. Mose. He has a championship plan. And most coaches don't have a championship plan. The reason why he has a championship plan, he just won one at Benedict.
Right.
So he comes right over with that plan into South Carolina State. And it's working out well. And so that's what he means by his process. When you look at a lot of other programs that you would think are supposed to be at championship status right now, they're not because of a reason. And when you look at what Coach Berry's doing right now with his program, sitting there 4-2, possibly could win the MEAC in year one. Nobody's taking that away from him. It just speaks volume of what he's doing at South Carolina State.
Yeah, speaks volumes, and it's the character that he has and the presence and charisma that he has as a head coach is rare in these days. Because most coaches are very stoic by the book. How they do things, but they still are passionate. In different ways, and Coach exudes that passion. He's an old Q dog. So, look, a Q dog raised me, so I understand. I understand him so well. Delaware State, South Carolina State. You see the Bulldogs winning this one easily.
Yeah, I think they're going to win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout because, like I say, they're already talking about the big game next week. And so I think he's going to do just enough to win it, maybe a 24-3 ball game. South Carolina State will win the ball game. But, I just think right now when you have a big impact in both head coaches, and Trei Oliver against Chennis, it's gonna be a good one. It's probably gonna be sold out. So let's just see if these guys can stay focused and bring home a victory.
All right, South Carolina State leads the all-time series 33-18 over Delaware State. Last year, Delaware State put 7 points on the board, but the Bulldogs under Coach Oliver Buddy Pugh scored 35 points and took home the win. We will be back shortly to be able to wrap things up. We're going to listen to a quick take about what's happening over at Morehouse College. And then we're going to go through our predictions of the week. And Coach is going to lay it down because, you know, he bleeds that Tiger blood both ways, Grambling as well as Jackson State. I always mess with him, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. We'll be right back.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I push. You better move. I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
Something amazing is happening here. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure with Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights and increased performance, giving them the scale to stay ready for whatever's next. Make amazing happen. Lenovo and CDW.
Siri, what's the name of the guy I had a meeting with a couple of months ago at Cafe Grinnell?
You met Zach Wingate at Cafe Grinnell.
Hey.
Zach!
Oh, wow, I didn't think you'd remember me.
Yeah, of course. As soon as I saw you, I'm like, it's Zach. Nobody walks like Zach.
I am genius.
Something amazing is happening here. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure with Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights and increased performance, giving them the scale to stay ready for whatever's next. Make amazing happen. Lenovo and CDW.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day.
See you next week.
All right, Coyote Mosley here with the Black Sports Insiders. We are coming down the home stretch. Coach, before we turn our attention to Morehouse College and what's happening over there, there's a big game that very few people, in my opinion, are really talking about and focusing on. It's Johnson C. Smith going into Winston-Salem State, the undefeated Golden Bulls taking on a Rams team that is ready to be able to give Johnson C. Smith their first loss of the season. Talk how big that game is for the CIAA.
Yeah, anytime you can have two great teams like Winston-Salem State, who's known as a traditional football powerhouse, and then you see what Johnson C. Smith is doing with Coach Flowers and the Bull. You know, I just think right now, you know, the impact of the game is going to bring the whole CIAA conference to another level. You're talking about the preseason championship game right here. I just think right now, Johnson C. Smith is at an all-time high. They have great players, great coaches, and I think it's going to be a 14-7 ball game on Johnson C. Smith. Very close game. Okay. And Virginia State takes on Bluefield State, Shaw against Fayetteville, Lincoln against Elizabeth City State, and the Virginia Union Panthers take on Bowie State out there in the CIAA. Let's quickly listen to what Coach Terance Mathis spoke to me about this week, homecoming week at Morehouse College. All right, it's Coyote Mosley of HBCU Legends here. Well, I'm not really there, but I wish I was there because it's homecoming time. So we couldn't get to the house. So we're bringing the house to us. And we got none other than the leader of the house. That's Coach Terance Mathis. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, man. How are you? It's been a minute.
Oh, yeah, it's been a minute. you guys, look, that the season has flown by, hasn't it?
But it has. Look at my face. I feel like Moses over here. Last time we talked, I was clean shaved. Now look at me.
Man, look, they were saying some things about President Obama the other day. I said, look, you've been in the Oval Office for a while. That stress and strain and everything. You start getting some gray hairs. Look at me. I'm just 27.
Wow. I know, right?
Yeah, man.
But let's say when you get
good,
that means
though,
you've done something when you get gray.
There you go. This is wisdom, coach. That's what I tell them. It's wisdom. Well, how's everything with the Maroon Tigers, man? I know it's been your first season. You guys got one win under the belt. I think it was with Kentucky State, correct? And now you guys are going into homecoming with Fort Valley. Talk about your season so far.
Well, you know, we started out with great aspirations to win them all, as I told you when we first got here. And then obviously we're not going to win them all. But, you know, I felt we were getting better, especially going into the Howard game. And then after the Howard game, winning Kentucky State, I thought we had momentum going. But then the injury bug hit. And we lost some key guys for a couple of weeks whatsoever. And we weren't playing as well anymore. And the thing is about these young men is no matter what the score is, they see that I'm not giving up and they're not giving up. For instance, we were down 51-6 with 12 seconds to go. I could have kneeled down on the ball, but I said, hand the ball off and let the running back run it. And we ran the ball. We're going to play until the last zeros are on the clock. And I don't care what the score is. So right now, there's a process. You got to understand, I'm the third head coach in 3 years. And those juniors and seniors are like, wow, you know, a different system, a different philosophy, a different way of doing things. And it's, you know, it's almost like, you know, when you disturb the ordinary, it's hard for those who are used to doing things a certain way for a long period of time to try to do something different. But I'm patient enough. I'm going to continue with the process. I'm going to continue with my philosophy. I'm going to continue to be uncommon.
All right. That's a little bit from Coach. And he also went on to talk about how he wants the stadium to be full over at BT Harvey Stadium in Atlanta. He wants the band to be rocking, everybody to be dancing, happy, and he wants to put a W up there for not only the team, but for the alumni as well as the spectators at homecoming. All right, Coach, how do you think he's done thus far with what he's been given over at Morehouse College?
Well, you know, some people say, you know, he could have done more being an NFL guy. And some people know the process of being a head coach at a struggling program is going to take time. I just don't believe, though, the fan base think Morehouse is a struggling program. I think he has to go in and do now at the end of the year, get his funds together, do an assessment of the program, get some quality kids in there, and get the ball rolling in year two from a recruiting standpoint, because he needs the players now to recruit with Clark Atlanta. You know, they're going to be tough. And so I just don't see only program to me as a coach that, you know, probably you can put up against Morehouse in that league is Tuskegee. You know, Morehouse is a big time brand, big time school. He just has to get the ball rolling and do it at a high level.
Yeah, it's funny you said that, because Tuskegee and Morehouse have been chosen by the NBA to play in the 2025 NBA HBCU Classic that's going to be out in San Francisco Bay Area during the All-Star break. So that's kudos to those two programs to get that spotlight, right?
Right.
All right. Let's talk about what's happening in some of these major games. And let's start off with let's go to Jackson. What'd you say?
Magic City Classic.
Magic City Classic. All right, let's start with the Magic City Classic. How do you see that one?
Must win from what I'm hearing in the press conference. Must win from both coaches and both fan bases. Coach Maynard is hearing a lot from his fan base, and Coach Robinson is hearing a lot from his fan base. So, when it's a rivalry game like this, you can throw the record books out. Both teams are going to play their hearts out. But this game is going to come down to the team that makes the least mistakes. And I just think right now, talent-wise, and looking at he's looking like his old self. They're scoring at a high level now. And people know Coach Maynard for putting up a lot of points.
Yeah, he has a quarterback, Langford, right?
Yeah, quarterback now. So, I just think the slight edge is going to be Alabama A&M 21-14 over Alabama State.
All right. Prairie View, they have their homecoming. It's out of conference, guys. Texas A&M Commerce, but Grambling did beat these guys in overtime. You think the Panthers can do the same?
I think it's going to be tough. I don't think Prairie View has the weapons that Grambling has, especially on defense. I think right now they're struggling on defense. But if anybody can do it, it's Coach Bubba McDowell. But I just think right now they're hurting on defense, and I don't see them Texas A&M coming.
All right, so the Panthers, we got the L for those guys. Southern against the Rattlers of Florida A&M.
This is going to be a tough game. Florida A&M top player, the tight end is out for this one. I'm told he was hurt in the Jackson game. So, Southern University is at an all-time high right now. They're playing lights-out football. I just see Southern University going into FAMU homecoming, upsetting the Rattlers, 28-24.
Really? All right. And we got Grambling. They're here in H-Town, and they're ready to take on the Tigers of Texas Southern. It's all out cat fight. It's cat on cat violence down here. So the G-men, can they take it to Coach Chris Dishman and his Tigers and leave H-Town with the win?
Big game for Grambling. A lot of pressure on Grambling right now. Must-win game. I think they can perform at a high level and go after Texas Southern this one. I got Grambling winning this one 10-3.
10-3, really?
3.
Oh,
gonna be a defensive matchup.
All right. I don't know about that one, Coach. I think it's going to be a little bit more scoring on the side of the G-men than that. But, hey, you never know. We shall see. All right. Any last thoughts on your mind, Coach?
No, just, from hearing and reading the newspaper, everybody's talking about the big announcement of the Magic City Classic, generating a $1.4 billion economic impact. I'm told it's over 100,000 people in the city of Birmingham right now. And, if that is the case, it's going to do well for both institutions. Shout out to the mayor over there in Birmingham for holding this great event. And, when you talk about brands like this, Kai, it's big. The Magic City Classic is known all over the world. And now I just think right now they're making the Bayou Classic jealous. So kudos to them and what they're doing over there. But a $1.4 billion, I think that's the highest it's ever been. So kudos to that organization and that, both of those institutions as well.
All right. 6 young guys from HBCU land fell on the Jerry Rice Award watch list. One young guy from Prairie View, linebacker Aiden Jones. Bubba McDowell say he is a star to be reckoned with in the future. Kobe Durant for the LA Rams. He was a Bulldog with South Carolina State. He won the NFC's Defensive Player of the Week award, and that's tremendous for him. And Grambling State, they went ahead and they signed 4 of their top head coaches to new contracts. I'm Kyle T. Mosley here with Coach Darryl Stewart. Coach, thank you very much. All right, we lost Coach. But anyway, guys, follow us at hbculegends.net this weekend. I'm going to have a special interview with 2 Chainz over at Prairie View's homecoming. And then we're going to leave from Prairie View, go all the way to Houston and see what's happening with Texas Southern versus Grambling State. And you can follow me at KTMOZE on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and HBCU Legends on X as well. Kyle T. Mosley from the Black Sports Insiders and HBCU Legends. Take care. Have a good night. Thank you.